when you were getting picked on in school, when you had an embarrassing incident, when you did something, it left in school that day and you went home and it didn't follow you. And now with the phone, it follows you. And a big part of that is, you know, I don't know. I think that
but there's no escape.
There's no escape. It literally follows you. In Australia, they just banned apps for people under 16.
I think we should. Yeah, I think
apps under 16.
I think you should only be allowed to have a smartphone after 16, and before that, it should be a dumb phone.
You know, I do a lot of things with school boards because I run the 1776 Project PAC. We do school board elections. And the number one school board trend that's happening in schools across the country, and this is blue and red, is the banning of cell phones in classrooms. It's happening across. It will happen in the schools.
But the dumb phones are fine if all they can do is make phone calls.
They're texting.
As I said, just phone calls. Texting is...
So they have a rotary phone.
There's no reason to have phones.
They have phones that they make for kids.
Right, in general.
It can dial and it can't make text.
You can't really? I know that. I thought it was just texting.
There was an e-ink phone that came out a while ago that all it does is make phone calls, and they targeted it for elderly people.
Right.
But I think they should need to parents. You can lock the phones, you can get them, and you can disable it, but the kid's going to figure out how to
Well, you know what? It's the problem is the parents are oftentimes in the classrooms, one saying, no, you have to have my kid's phone on because I need to get a hold of him at all times. And it's this mass anxiety by parents, which is nonsense.
Did you hear that story of the mother who got arrested because her 11-year-old was walking to the bodega?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on? Like, let the kids just go do their thing, man.
Well, when you realize like how much more dangerous the world was when we were growing up in the early 90s versus now, and the paranoia compared to, and before that, what Gen Xers grew up in the 70s was like, it was far more dangerous.
Go outside and don't come back till the lights are on.
Yes, I was going to say,
exactly.
When I was 30 years ago, my parents were like, you're grounded from inside the house. Push me outside, close, say when the lights come on, come home.
My mom would kick me the F out. Like, get out here. I'm trying to do something. Come back later.
I'd get on my bike, and then I would ride around to my friends' houses, and then when the lights came on, I'd ride home, and then I'd come home and we'd have dinner or something.
Yeah, but it's remarkably a much safer world than it was 50, 40, 30, 20 years ago. And you would think that it's massacres are happening on every single block, the way that people are treating children. And that elongates childhood. There was a great book called Generations. I forget the author's name. Jean Tweedy, whatever her last name is. But it talked about how people are children well into their 20s now and have a child mindset. So a 25-year-old now has the life experiences of a 15-year-old. And I have some relatives like this who are in their early 20s who, I mean, I did more at 16 than they did at 21, and they have no ambition to even do that, which I think is part of the breakdown.
This is going back to the story of Luigi Mangione.
Mm-hmm.
Look at his life. The dude's institutionalized his whole life. And I don't mean like in a health care facility or something. Sure. I'm saying he wakes up, goes to school as a little kid, then he goes to school as a teenager, then he goes to school as an adult, then he gets out and he's like, what is this? What is this? What is that? He has no idea what's going on. A 26-year-old, for hundreds of thousands of years of human development, a 26-year-old would be building their own house with a bunch of kids. Mm-hmm. Now I just finally got out of school and never had a job, and I'm 26. That's insane.
Did he never have a job?
I don't know if literally he didn't, but he was an Ivy Leaguer who went to school and got his
and was a valedictorian too.
Right.
So you think he'd be running a company by now or founding one? Or
he has no
something.
work experience.
Yeah, it's odd. It's really, really odd. Also, Matt, he gave his valedictorian speech, so now imagine that was like your valedictorian was Luigi. Like, where are they now in the 20-year reunions?
But just look at the current state of how kids are being raised, and let's project that out 20 years.
No, 100%. People do not have that. People made fun of millennials beyond belief because we liked avocado toast and imagine we were too much like children.
I
love avocado toast. It is great. It is great. People,
boomers
lost their minds because of that. But anyway, avocados? They did. They lost their minds over avocados. But that was that millennials being, I guess, young till we were 30. Alphas, it will be until they're like in their early 40s.
Do you think we can switch it back, like how we're kind of like steering back towards the?
There was a story about how the number of wealthy white Americans who are going to college is down, which I thought was very, very interesting.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe people, if they have the opportunity to do something else, are taking it, and that taking a level of risk is part of growing up. right? We divorce people from risk. That makes them children forever when you have everything decided for you. So maybe by not going to school, maybe sitting there and having a risk of like, I'm going to start a company. I'm going to make a job. I'm going to do something for myself. Maybe that will make them grow up. I don't know. But that would be part of it where you sit there and say, I think divorcing from social media and stuff like that is part of it.
Kids need jobs.
Yeah. That's why we can't let robots take over everything.
Yeah. Kids need jobs, like mowing the lawn. And a couple years ago, I said kids need jobs. And we were talking about there was some bill that would allow kids under the age of 16 to work for like 12 hours at certain jobs or whatever. And the left lost their mind.
Yeah, I know. I told that. Yes.
Yeah.
They were like, you could work at like a Chick-fil-A for like, I guess it was like 20 hours a week, 24 hours a week, which is, it's a lot.
And you're like, it was for like 14 and 15-year-olds.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, child labor. And I'm like,
how old were you when you had your first job?
9.
9?
Yeah, my family owned a coffee shop.
Oh, okay.
That's right. And kids need jobs. Before that, I mowed lawn and rake leaves. You'd get a rake. You'd go to the house. You knock on the door. Can I rake your leaf for $5? And they'd be like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, we used to shovel snow for like $20 at people's houses. That was like, when it was good snow season as a kid, you're like, we are making bank right now.
I was delivering newspapers in Avoca, PA at 6 with my brothers.
Now kids are sitting around playing video games, going to school,
bikes.
And then they are 22 and they've never had a job before.
It's crazy.
And they look up to Bernie Sanders, who also never had a job.
Wait, that's true, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And his wife made a university go bankrupt, which I did not think was possible. It did. His wife's university did go bankrupt.
That's based.
All those guys.
What?
That's based.
I guess. I don't think she meant it. I think it was like,
hey, whatever her intentions were, the outcome was good.
Yeah. And he has 3 homes, and he's a millionaire. So, I mean,
hey, man,
only in America could a socialist make so much money.
Well, he stopped pointing at millionaires, too, as soon as...
Yeah. As soon as he became a millionaire, he dropped the word millionaire from all his speeches.
Really?
Yep. He used to go, the millionaires and the billionaires in this country.
Yeah.
And then he became a millionaire and he started saying the billionaires. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.